Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today we're somewhere special, but we'll address that. And we're talking about bourbon.
So, as you said, we're in an undisclosed location. Truth be told, it's my garage.
And we've disclosed it before. I think it's been on a few strips.
For those of you that didn't catch up on last week's events, we usually film in my basement, and that flooded. So now I had to tear the bar out, lift the floor up, and there's all kinds of work being done down there. So we're going to be kind of sort of remote for the next few videos here. So this is the new studio for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
But we've got a great idea. In my opinion, Greg had a great idea for a video, and that is time capsule bourbons.
Exactly. So people occasionally talk about time capsules, putting something away for the future. And so I
usually like in a box or something, they bury it somewhere.
Yeah, and I don't know if you need to go that intense, but but is there a type of bourbon that you want to put in a time capsule? And that initially, I think it's an easy yes, but then wait a minute, well, there's some weird rules. And I think everyone's going to interpret this differently, so the rules are almost as much fun as the bourbon picks.
I was not aware of rules before I picked my bottle.
The criteria.
Okay, so what is that?
Okay, so like, let's say Wild Turkey Rare Breed. We both like it. It's a great bourbon, but it doesn't really make sense to put it in a time capsule because it'll probably be here in 20 years.
So that's the thing. That was the hard part about trying to figure this out, because that was kind of what I was thinking. It's like, but you never know.
You do. You never know.
So maybe you just take your favorite. But I did not go down that road. I kind of tried to get some stuff that I feel is unique or maybe no longer available or whatever.
Right, yeah. So we are thinking about something that you really can't buy in 20 years, and I'm just throwing 20 years out there. So maybe have some major life event or anniversary or birthday.
And you want to pull out a special bourbon that possibly no longer exists.
No longer exists and hasn't for a long time, and it'll be special to you for maybe individual reasons.
And I think everybody's probably got a couple of these on their shelves where they have one bottle of it, and they'll probably maybe never get another one. Maybe some people would choose an allocated one, or maybe just a limited run. But let's get into what we have before we spend too much time yapping about what everybody else might have.
Yeah.
So do you want to start it out here?
Do you want me to start?
It's up to you. Your idea, you flip the coin here in your mind. All
right, you go first.
All right. So my first one, and these are in no particular first to worst or anything order, that I picked is one of my favorite bourbons that everybody who watches this show regularly probably knows. This is the Early Times Bottled and Bond, but this is the Plastic Black Cat Brown-Forman version of Early Times Bottled and Bond, which is already on its way out of existence. The only ones that are left are the ones that are still left on the shelves from when they discontinued this.
So this label was actually bought by another company.
Yep.
And so it's still going to exist probably in 20 years, but it will be different.
Everybody says this one's a little bit better. The first run of the new kind people weren't so happy about, and I heard that that's gotten better, but I've not actually had that because this is not available in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure that there's at least a bottle of this around because it really is one of my favorite bourbons.
It's a great choice. My first choice is Penelope Architect. However, this is not just any Penelope Architect. This happens to be the Wright County Whiskey Club barrel pick.
Shout out to them. Go follow them on Facebook.
Yeah. Absolutely great barrel. Really, really like Penelope. I like the Architect a lot, and this particular pick is amazing. And it won't exist in the future, so I was lucky enough to grab a bottle.
That's kind of a fun part about doing this is, store picks and limited release stuff. And so that brings me to my next one. And again, if you're a regular viewer of this show and you've watched all of our other lists and stuff, you might be sick of hearing me talk about this bottle and also sick of it not being opened yet. But this is the bottle. The bottle. Yeah, this is one of my prized possessions. This is they call it a 15-year pick. It's 14 and 8 months or something like that. Knob Creek single barrel store pick. And I just happened to score this one. I got it for $39, which is ridiculous. I got two of them. Yeah. That's why I know it's so amazing, but it's not open because I did.
He had another one.
Yeah, killed another bottle of it, and it's exceptional. Yeah. And so I'm kind of saving this one for maybe special occasion, but if I had a time capsule right now and I know I'm going to be around when it gets opened up and I want that special bourbon to knock people's socks off, I'm probably putting that one in there.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, that one is, it's just amazing. And I don't think that the Knob Creek 15-year picks aren't really a thing anymore, from what I understand. And if they are, they're certainly very rare.
Yeah, so I picked one up last year, and I think that this bottle is way better than the standard wood box 15-year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
Well, and you have a 15-year store pick, and they're different because we've drank them next to each other.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this one is just tons of vanilla and oak. It's just amazing. So.
Good choice. All right, my second choice. So this one's not open, but Ben actually happens to have a bottle of it, and we've drank that one.
Great
This
pick.
is Jepson's bourbon, but more importantly, Storytime Distillery. They did the blending, and this is the Friday at Fred's.
I don't know if they did blending
or
for
blending,
that. They
or
picked the barrel.
Yeah, they picked it.
It's a pick of theirs.
And it is so good.
It really is. It's a cigar blend or cigar batch, however they choose to phrase that.
Cognac cask finished.
Yep. Cognac cask finished. 120.52 proof.
Yep.
And yeah, it's really good. I mean, we've got like Greg said, I've got a bottle of that open. We've reviewed it.
Yep.
I put a pretty good
Storytime, just for those that maybe aren't familiar, it's basically an online club. So storytimedistillery.com, probably, something like that.
Yep, that's storytimedistillery.com.
And online club, you join, and then you have opportunity to buy, like, essentially single barrels several times a year. And just Shane's a great guy.
And they've all been really good, and the only place to get those particular picks are from Storytime. And this is not an ad for them or anything.
No,
We're not
not paid,
financially invested or anything like that. Just Shane's a great guy, and he's got some great barrel picks. So
totally agree.
All right, so this last one, so we picked 3 because we kind of figured, this list could either be really short or just endless.
Well, yeah.
With all the great store picks we have on our shelves. So I picked this last one going solely on memory. And I'm excited to review this. Recently picked this up in a bourbon hunting video. This is a 375 of this that was in the Maker's Mark gift set. And this is the 2019 private selection. Now, if you originally got this in 2019, it didn't look like this. This is back when they had the different label. It just said private selection. And this is the Rob Samuels pick.
I almost brought that exact bottle that still says Rob Samuels on my bottle.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the same stave profile. So what they did every year from 2019, 2021, they released a gift pack, and it had Maker's Cast Strength, Maker's 46 Cast Strength, and then that year's special release, all in 375s. And they're usually about 70 to 80 bucks. Now Costco is selling these for 50 bucks, and it's got all 3 of the last 3 years private, private selections. So total recommend if you can go get that. But I remember that was my favorite Maker's Mark I've ever had.
Yeah,
loved it.
Amazing.
Haven't had it for a couple of years, so when they released this gift set, especially when I saw it drop down to 50, was on top of that. Yep.
That was a good choice. And to be honest, that was on my list. And initially, I'll be honest, I had 3 Maker's Marks on my list, and I thought, well, I can't just do a Maker's Mark time capsule, so that's why I expanded out.
Sure.
But I did grab a Maker's Mark, and it is this most current limited release.
Wow.
And the reason I went with this one, and I mean, the FAE02 is another one that I absolutely love, and the BRT02, and then this one, I'm going to do a flight to the 3 of them just for fun, because they're so great. But
you're going to do a flight of the 3 of them? Am I getting in on this?
No, it was just me for personal fun, but we can certainly do it on channel as well. But this is just one that I said in the review, and I was being somewhat sarcastic, that it's a bourbon of the millennium.
Yeah.
And
I said I don't think I'd go that far, but it's a damn good bourbon. And if you're a fan of Maker's Mark in particular.
I agree. And it really hits certain notes that are, just for me, perfect. So absolutely love it. This is one that I want to say I called out in that video. If you know where I can find a bottle, reach out to me and let me know. And I had several people reach out, which is freaking amazing.
It's another good part of having a channel.
Yeah, and so I've actually found 2 other bottles. And so I'm trying not to have multiples, but of this one, it's okay to have a couple extra.
Sure.
And one of them's going in the time capsule.
I'm kind of shocked by that pick because I think you know which one I thought you were going to pick. Which I think kind of has to be an honorable mention.
Yeah. So I have a store pick from Haskell's, which is a local liquor store in this area.
A very unique store pick.
And it's all 10 of them are French mocha staves.
Yeah, so this one has, because they discontinued the French mocha stave.
Right.
So that's not even a thing anymore on its own.
Exactly.
And yeah, that store, instead of picking a combination of stave profiles from those of you who are familiar with that process, they went all 10 French mocha.
French mocha.
And it's like, take the sweetness and kind of buttery breadiness of Maker's Mark with the little caramels, and then just like chocolate on top of it. It's just it's a really, really interesting.
It is.
Store pick, a unique bottle for sure.
And
so I thought that's where you were going with that.
Well, I considered. I definitely did because that one I love as well.
Sure.
But.
Well, I think this is a solid list. Like in 20 years, I'd like to drink any of these.
You know, but not only is this an interesting list, but I'm really curious what other bourbon channels would do.
Yes.
You know, what would you pick as a time capsule? What's a bourbon, or you can throw scotches or whatever is interested.
Yeah, whatever is special to you. But what would you, if you had to pick 3, throw them in a time capsule because you want to, it's kind of like a dog burying a bone somewhere. It's like, I know I'm going to want that later on, so I need to keep it safe.
Yes.
What would yours be? And we could sit here and call out channels all day long, but maybe I'll just put a post up and tag a bunch.
Yeah, there you go.
A bunch of channels that we know personally. Maybe I'll tag some that we don't know personally, but maybe they'll hop on and do a video as well.
Love to see you do a time capsule bourbon. What's important to you?
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, this has been our top 3 time capsule bourbons. On the bourbon note, I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time.